Following the death of Elizabeth I in 1603, her cousin James VI of Scotland was crowned James I of England. For the first time, Scotland and England were ruled by the same monarch. With James's accession to the English throne, a new family came to power as the Stuarts took the place of the Tudors. The history of the 17th century is in part the story of the Stuarts, their approach to government and to the church, their ebbing and flowing popularity, and the disastrous decisions that led to civil war. It is also a century of contrasts between extraordinary discoveries in science and mathematics and continuing medieval practices like alchemy, between Puritan restraint and excess at court, between autocratic monarchical rule and the temporary British Republic. Under James, the strong literary tradition of Elizabethan England continued to flourish. Important patronage from the court and the hugely popular public theatres led to the production of some of the most important and influential literature ever, including, of course, the works of William Shakespeare. James's eldest son, Henry, died young, and the throne was inherited by his younger brother, Charles I. Like his father, Charles believed fervently in the divine right of kings, and for several years he ruled without parliament. This, along with the introduction of heavy taxes and restrictions on church worship, contributed to his growing unpopularity. He was also criticised for his extravagant spending on paintings. Charles patronised the great Flemish artist Anthony van Dyck, whose style of painting dominated British portraiture for the next 300 years. Growing dissatisfaction with Charles as a king led to increasing social and political unrest, which eventually erupted into civil war, a terrible war in which many were killed. The parliamentarians, led by Oliver Cromwell, won, with the help of their extraordinarily well-organised professional army. King Charles was executed. Soldiers on both sides were depicted in portraiture in very similar ways. They're not, on the whole, shown as the Roundheads and Cavaliers of popular history, and in fact, it's usually impossible to guess their political allegiances from the style of their portraiture. Cromwell's republic failed, and after 11 years' interregnum, Charles II, son of Charles I, was restored to the throne with much public rejoicing. However, his court was soon being criticised for excess and debauchery, and his reign was plagued with conspiracies and plots, as well as major disasters like the Great Fire of London. Despite having 14 illegitimate children, Charles II had no legitimate heir, and when he died, the throne passed to his brother James II. James was deeply unpopular and mistrusted for his Catholicism, and his reign was short-lived. It was ended by the bloodless revolution of 1688, when his daughter Mary II and her husband William of Orange were invited from Holland to England to rule.